Welcome to Tiny Vegan Kitchen and our recipe for carrot cake cupcakes with buttercream frosting. For this you will need 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, half a cup of unsweetened applesauce, 2.5 cups of flour, 3/4 of a cup of turbidano sugar, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of nutmeg, half a teaspoon of salt, 1/4 of a cup of canola oil, 2 cups of grated carrots, and 1 cup of crushed pineapple. And for the frosting, you will need half a cup of non-hydrogenated shortening, half a cup of non-hydrogenated butter substitute, 3.5 cups of powdered sugar, 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and 1/4 of a cup of plain soy milk. And the frosting is actually where we're going to start. First things first, get your butter and your shortening out of the fridge now. You're going to use this right at the end after the muffins have cooled down, but this stuff needs to be whipped. And we don't have a mixer, so we're going to have to do this by hand. So we're going to take this out of the refrigerator now so that this can warm up a little bit and makes it easier to handle. Now, Earth Balance makes these great shortening and butter substitutes. So you can use these perfectly for this recipe, and they actually come in really handy, half a cup blocks. So take these out of the wrappers and put them in a bowl, and all we're going to do with these is set them aside. We're not actually going to do anything with them yet. This is just for the frosting, and it's probably really, really good for you. So unwrap these, get them in a bowl, and just leave them out to warm up over here. We don't actually need them yet, so while that's warming up, we're going to work on the actual muffins themselves. In a big bowl, we're going to mix the... oh no! Before we do that, the applesauce in a small bowl. This is important. We're going to mix the baking powder, even I have to think about it, the baking powder, not the baking soda, in with the applesauce. So we're going to mix the baking powder in there, give that a mix. I'm just going to let this sit. This will make a really frothy kind of crazy mixture. Make sure that's thoroughly mixed in. It's important to do this first because this will sit. You see it's already rising, it gets a lot of bubbles into it. This just sits and waits while we mix the rest of our flour mixture. So then in a big bowl, pretty sure there's nothing else before this, we're going to mix our flour, straight in there, our sugar, our baking soda, and our spices, our cinnamon, salt, and nutmeg. We've got those in there. And we're going to give that a quick mix. Make sure that's nice and well mixed in there. To this we're going to add our crushed pineapple. Try and get a bit of the juice out of the can, because this is good. Gives it a bit of moisture. Add that in. And our crushed carrots, finely grated. And the mixture that we just made, that now looks really crazy, with the applesauce and the baking powder. And just get that in there. And give that a really good mix up. Oh, and the oil. Don't forget the oil. Get our canola oil in there. And give it a good stir. Now this is a pretty complicated recipe with a lot of ingredients. Just check out our website, tinyvegankitchen.com, for a full list of everything that goes into this and directions of how to make it. This mixture is looking good. Just give that a nice mix. Make sure it's well mixed. There's no lumps of flour or anything. And this is the cupcake mixture. Now, if you remember our banana muffin mixture that we did a while ago, that was a lot thicker and a lot firmer than this mixture. This is because these cupcakes, we don't want them to rise like a muffin, so it's a bit thinner, so don't expect it to turn out the same if you've already tackled that recipe. So this is good. And all we do is put that into our muffin liners. Now this mixture makes about 24. We only have a muffin tray for 12, cupcake tray with the little liners in. So we're going to do 2 batches of 12, so we're just going to get this straight in here and fill up these cases. And we're going to get those into a preheated oven at 325 degrees, and they're going to be in there for about 30 minutes. Once they're out of the oven, make sure they're fully cooled down, and then we'll work on the buttercream. Welcome back to carrot cake cupcakes with buttercream frosting. Our cupcakes are fully cooked, we just got them out of the oven, and they've been sat here cooling for about 10 minutes. We're going to prepare the buttercream frosting. It's important not to do this until these are absolutely cool. So make sure they're sat around for a while, at least 10 minutes, before you actually apply this to the top. So we're going to start with our shortening and butter mixture that we left sat out before we started all of this. This is now nice and soft and it's easy to work with. Using a fork, you want to mix this, mash it up, and kind of whip it for a good couple of minutes, really. We're just going to do it fast, show you how it's done. So once that's fully mixed and starting to peak, you can add your sugar. Now we have 3.5 cups of powdered sugar. If you can't find a vegan powdered sugar, go on our website. We have details about how you can make your own. So just add this to the mixture. Gonna add a little bit at a time, just so it makes it easier to mix in. You see that's starting to mix nicely. And once the powdered sugar is mixed in, you want to beat it again for another couple of minutes. It's kind of a long process if you do it manually, but it's worth it because this tastes really, really good and it goes great on the carrot cake cupcakes. So we're just going to whip this up a little bit. And once you've done that for a couple of minutes, a little bit longer than we've done it really, you can add your vanilla essence and your soy milk. So it's a teaspoon and a half of vanilla essence. That's about half. And 1/4 cup of soy milk. Get that right in there. And whip it again. Now you want to whip it for another 4 to 5 minutes again. So once you've been thoroughly worn out mixing this by hand, it's ready to go on the cupcakes. Now we've actually made a lot of mixture here. This is probably more than you'll need for 24 of these little carrot cake cupcakes. But you can store this in a sealed container in the refrigerator. It will keep for a while. And you can use it on all sorts of things. So we're just going to add this to the top of our previously cooled cupcakes. And this is where you can just be as gluttonous as you want to with it. Put quite a lot on because, like I say, we've got tons of this stuff. So just a nice good dose right on the top. And put this on all of the ones you want. And just go through and do this with each one. And these are actually ready to eat. Thanks for watching us on Tiny Vegan Kitchen. We'll see you next time.